Hey guys, welcome back to another video. So today we're going to be comparing the Generation 1 wave, Leatherman wave, to the Generation 3 Leatherman wave, or our current version. So right away you can tell that they are definitely different than each other, and like they're definitely a different size, but you can definitely tell that they're still very close to each other. Like you can tell exactly that this one is just a more updated version of this one. And then biggest differences are how all the tools play out, because this one has removable bit drivers where this one does not. And like the old wave was definitely a bit slimmer than this one, but this one still is pretty slim, pretty compact. And then overall, they're same. They're pretty much the same thickness. And if you put them up side by side like this, you can tell that this one's definitely a bit more like precise machining or whatever, or like just more modernized, more high tech stuff going on there. And then this one, the blade stock is actually a bit thicker, even though this one's older. It's a bit thicker blade stock. And then let's get into tool comparison. So open this guy up. You got your needle nose pliers, but this one, the older one, I feel comes to a more precise point than the new one. And like the serrations were a lot more fine. And then the actual pliers work about the same, which is good. And then this one, I feel like the newer waves pliers are just a bit more robust than the old ones. Overall, the whole tool seems just a bit more robust. And then this one has the replaceable cutters, whereas this one does not, because they weren't really a thing back then. And then it's just like more sleek, I guess. More like slim down. And then on the outside, you have really the same four tools. Like you've got your knife blade here, flip it over here. The knife blade's definitely a bit skinnier on the old one than it is on the new one, and the small one, or the old one, definitely had a bigger unlocking plate than what the big one did. And then when they went over to the Wave Generation 2, which is essentially just this without the replaceable cutters, they added in these bits. Like that's what the biggest changes were. I don't have the Generation 2, so I'm using the Generation 3, but the biggest jump was Generation 1 to Generation 2. Like that, it still looked the same as this. In 2018, they released this version, and then they actually put bronze washers in there, whereas this one, I don't think they used washers, but yeah, they don't really use washers here. And then all the tools, it's like the same concept. And then this one has a saw blade. Saw blade is still pretty much the same, just a whole lot skinnier. This one's definitely more robust. But then when you close them back up, it like the blades kind of bulge out a bit on this one. Like they come out a little bit, whereas this one, they're very streamlined with it. And then the file almost seems like it's a bit thicker on the older one. Yeah, for sure, it's a bit thicker on the older one. So this older one may be a bit more robust than the newer one, but the newer one is curved a little bit, so you would get some extra power on there. And then close this up. And then the serrated blade is really where you see some of the differences as well. So on this one, let's get them both opened up. On this one, it's more of like a sharp sheep's footy reversed Tanto type blade, whereas this one is more of like a soft sheep's foot blade, not soft, like more curved. They still work very much the same. And then with the locking bar, they pushed out like a little square of the metal, whereas this one now uses a little back plate here to keep them locked in solid. I think that would it's easier for them to produce. And then this bit here kind of acts as a sharpening choil, where this right here, this bit right there is the sharpening choil. And then to get on the interior tools, flip these closed. I'm sorry, I'm kind of going back and forth a little bit. Interior tools is really where you see the main difference. So on the current wave, we have replaceable bit drivers where the bit comes out, flip it around, use the other one, and then you close it back up. And then the interior tools on the new wave, that's what I'm going to call it, they actually lock up, where on the old one, they do not. And then can opener, it's the same on both of them, maybe slight minor differences. And then on the other side, this tool, or the big flat driver, is still there on the other one. Like it's one of the ones that stayed. And then the micro, like eyeglass driver as I call it, this is new. And then this is replaceable as well if you ding it up. And then the scissors really are where the chain, like some of the big changes are. Whereas this one has kind of a small pair of scissors. Whereas on this one, the scissors, I really like how they did these scissors, are actually bigger. Oh, got the rest of the tools coming. Yeah, it's the thing with Leathermans. Sometimes the tools will come out with the rest of them. Yeah, so the scissors on the old wave are actually bigger, quite a bit bigger than the scissors on the new wave. Like, I think I prefer the old wave scissors, just because how they did them is really kind of cool. So, like, this part's all on its own, and this part, whereas, like, this is just one single piece with a little leaf spring right there. Whereas this still has the leaf spring, but it's really, really cool how they did this. And then the rest of the interior tools on the old wave are, let me pull these out here. Scissors, we already talked about you, stay in there. So this is kind of your eyeglass driver for this one. Then you have a 3/16 driver. Not entirely sure what this one is off my head. But yeah, like these, you can't pull them out and change out for the other ones like you can on the new wave. And then this was a Cabela's one. And then on the other side, you have your big main flat driver, your keyring, where this one, it's integrated into the side of the frame. Let's just close up the scissors so I don't poke myself. Come on. There we go. This one is actually integrated on right here. This is the pocket, or the keyring, whereas this one, it's actually fold out. So here's your mid-sized driver for like both of them. Like they kind of kept this on both, but more of like a stonewash finish on the other one. And then this guy has, let's get it out. This guy has a full three-dimensional bit driver, not a bit driver, keep saying that. Full dimensional screwdriver, Phillips number 2, which some people like better than the exchangeable bit driver. But then like there's others that don't. And then this one is just on a forgot about what it was called again. Just a slip joint, there we go. And then the can opener is the same one they've always been using, just a little bit different. Like I feel like it's a little bit thicker tool on this one than it is on the other one. And then in the actual handles. They didn't put the little stamped out ruler on this one, but they did on the New Wave. And then let me just pull out a few things here. And then from just looking at it, it seems like the old school one does have a little bit more functionality. But in reality, I think this one does have a little bit more functionality, and probably because it is newer, and because you can add the pocket clip and then the bit kit onto this one, whereas this one there was no space for the pocket clip to go into because they hadn't developed it yet. Whereas this guy on the back side, you can see that little slot right here where this just clips in. If I can do it properly. Come on. This one just clips in right there. Very solid. And this one does not have the option to do it, which would have been pretty good because it's a bit slimmer profile than this one. And then you have the bit kit where you can exchange so many different other bits, like flat drivers here, all sorts of stuff. And then whereas this one, they're just kind of in there, kind of like how they do the modern day rebar. They have specific drivers here, where this one has specific drivers, like integrated into it, like this one. And then on the other side, that's where you find the bit driver. And then as well as with the sheaths, on the old one, you got a really nice leather sheath. And then on the new one, you got still a pretty nice nylon sheath, which works just as well. And then with this one, you also have the wire crimper on the back, more pronounced. Still doesn't work as well as for say on the Surge, but it still works. This one doesn't really have one. It has a little one for say. Just not really anything serious. It's not a dedicated tool there. These last such a long time, and then for this guy, put it right back in its home right there, which it slides in nicely because it's been nice and broken in. And then the logo was the multi-tool kind of shaped in a T. I think it's for T as in Tim Leatherman, because that's who created all of these tools. And then either one of these would be a great thing to have. Just this guy I probably wouldn't use too much if I got a new one, because there's not too many around anymore. Whereas this one, you can find all sorts. You can find tons of these everywhere. Ace, I know they have them. Murdoch's. That's where I got this one. And then that's just a little comparison of the Wave Generation 1 and Generation 3. Thank you guys for watching.